Fallout New Vegas is widely regarded as not only the best game in the Fallout franchise, but one of the best RPGs ever made. It was an incredible achievement for Obsidian Entertainment, especially considering the game was developed in just 18 months. New Vegas went on to sell over 11 million copies and still has a lasting impact on the industry to this day. But what is it about Fallout New Vegas that inspires such raving loyalty from its fans and a solid devotion to the game even today? That is what we're going to explore in this video. There will be spoilers in the video, so keep that in mind if you haven't played the game before. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. I make videos about RPGs, and this is my retrospective on Fallout New Vegas 15 years later.
What in the goddamn?
I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates.
What can Easy Pete do for you?
You just got into town. Maybe you shouldn't go.
The game was rigged from the start.
If you take a surface glance at Fallout New Vegas, you might not be impressed. At launch, the game was an utter clusterfuck from a technical standpoint, with many reviewers pointing out a plethora of glitches and bugs. And while most of these issues have been long since ironed out, even today, New Vegas has a proclivity to crash to desktop frequently. Crash. If you can keep the game running and get past these technical difficulties, you'll find the combat isn't particularly impressive either. The gunplay is a bit janky, even by 2010 standards, and contemporary titles like Mass Effect 2 provide a much more satisfying combat experience. On top of this, the visuals of the Mojave Wasteland can be summed up by brown, brown, and more brown. The graphics and art style of New Vegas don't exactly scream out timeless masterpiece. So you might be thinking, if the game has all this jank and flaws, why do people like it? Well, I'll tell you. The secret sauce of Fallout New Vegas is built on the strength of role-playing and player choice, phenomenal storytelling, excellent build variety both for combat and skill checks, and that distinct Fallout flavor which makes the whole franchise so appealing. We're going to explore all of these pillars throughout the course of this video, but let's start off with talking about the absolutely perfect introduction of Fallout New Vegas.
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now.
One of the things I really like about the beginning of New Vegas is that it doesn't waste your time. Some RPGs go really crazy with their tutorial sections. In Fallout 3, you're trapped in Vault 101 for a minimum of 45 minutes before you can venture out into the wasteland and really start playing the game. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you spend a minimum of 2 hours on the tutorial section before you're out of the stocks and unleashed into the open world. Act 1 of Cyberpunk 2077, which is basically a long-ass tutorial since you're locked out of 90% of the map, takes a minimum of 4 hours to complete. I love Cyberpunk, but goddamn, I am sick of playing the heist mission. That shit takes like 2 hours, even if you're skipping the dialogue. Not great on your 10th playthrough. But in Fallout New Vegas, you watch a quick cutscene, make your character, and boom, you're into the open world. And you can go anywhere and do anything at this point. Sure, you have the option of doing a couple of brief tutorials with sunny smiles, but you can completely skip all of that if you already know how to play Fallout. I love that. The premise of Fallout New Vegas is incredibly simple. Find the man who shot you in the head. That's it. There's no grand conspiracy to uncover, no ticking time bomb in your head like a mind flayer tadpole or an AI rocker boy, no ancient lobster death robots, just a dude or a chick looking to take revenge or find answers. And sure, there is this bigger plot that unveils as you go throughout the course of the game. The premise of the game is just incredibly simple, and this premise provides an excellent backdrop for role-playing and player choice. Your character is just a courier who got mixed up in a dangerous job that nearly cost you your life. You're not some chosen one, but throughout the course of the game, you can choose to be the one who plays a major role in the political maelstrom that's swirling in the Mojave Wasteland. More than any other game in this series, Fallout New Vegas expertly captures that feeling of being able to go anywhere and do anything, as Todd Howard would say. There's no earth-shattering crisis that needs to be solved this instant, so you feel like you can just pursue any content in the game without having this kind of ludonarrative dissonance dissonance like you might feel in a game like Baldur's Gate 3 or Cyberpunk 2077. No shade, by the way, I love both of those games, but there's always this sense of, why would I embark on a side quest to solve someone else's problems when my character is literally on the brink of dying? The opening of New Vegas also does an excellent job of introducing faction dynamics to the player. If we take Sunny Smiles' advice and check in with Trudy at the bar, we're sure to overhear her argument with the powder ganger Joe Cobb. We can offer our gun to help run the criminal powder gangers out of town, or take the evil karma path of helping the gangers kill everyone in Good Springs. In the process, we'll learn about faction disguises and how our actions impact faction reputation, which is a crucial mechanic we will engage with throughout the whole game.
Okay, consider them forgotten, along with the projections that predict they'll be our biggest enemy. Forgotten!
The developers of Fallout New Vegas understood that player choice wasn't simply confined to what you decide to do, but how you do it as well. Many quests will offer the player a myriad of different ways to solve a problem. The best example in the game is all the different ways we can deal with our killer Benny after tracking him to the Tops Casino on the New Vegas Strip. It's staggering how much freedom of choice you have in your quest to deal with Benny. You can just walk in and shoot him, you can gather evidence of his crimes, and convince one of his underlings to send him alone to his suite, allowing you to get the drop on him. You can negotiate a deal with him. You can even sleep with him if you're a female character, and take the opportunity to kill him. And if he gets away, there's a whole other scenario where you can deal with him at the Legion Fort, which also has a bunch of additional choices. Let's compare this with how we deal with Kellogg in Fallout 4. Spoilers incoming, by the way. After watching Kellogg shoot our spouse and kidnap our son in the beginning of the game, we track him down to a base called Fort Hagen. At this point, we have a bunch of different ways we can deal with Kellogg. We can kill him, we can kill him, or we can kill him. Wait a second, there's only one option here. I thought this was an RPG. What the hell, dude? If I ever ran a video game studio, one of my requirements for hiring a writer would be that they must complete a full playthrough of Fallout New Vegas, because many RPG writers in the industry today could learn a thing or two from New Vegas about the best practices for storytelling. There is a golden rule of storytelling called show, don't tell. In other words, don't just tell a story through lore vomit and exposition dumping, instead show the player what's going on. In Fallout New Vegas, one of the factions vying for political dominance in the Mojave Wasteland is called Caesar's Legion. They are a brutal, militaristic faction inspired by the Roman Empire. Throughout the game, Obsidian shows us how brutal the Legion is in a variety of ways, most notably during our first visit to the town of Nipton. As we approach the town, we'll get accosted by this individual.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did! Smell that air! Couldn't you just drink it like booze? Are you kidding me? Never felt better. Yeah! What lottery? The lottery! That's what lottery! Are you stupid? Only lottery that matters. Oh my God, smell that air!
Okay, that's kinda weird. What's gotten into this guy? Walking down the main street of the town, we see burning houses and people in NCR prison get-ups nailed to crucifixes. A pile of tires is burning in the center of town. What the hell happened here? As we make our way down the road, a man adorned with a wolf's head pelt will come up and speak to us.
Don't worry. I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates. It's useful that you happen by. I want you to witness the fate of the town of Nipton, to memorize every detail. And then, when you move on, I want you to teach everyone you meet the lesson that Caesar's Legion taught here, especially any NCR troops you run across. Where to begin? That they are weak and we are strong? This much was known already. But the depths of their moral sickness, their dissolution, Nipton serves as the perfect object lesson. I think your eyes will see more than I could ever tell you. Take your time. Enjoy the sights.
The Legion struck this town for a reason, not just to condemn what they view as moral degeneracy, but to strike fear into the hearts of the people of the Mojave Wasteland, to show them that the NCR cannot protect them, and that they are better off bending the knee to Caesar. Compare this with modern RPGs like Dragon Age the Veilguard, where the characters just explain crucial plot points to us directly in dialogue like we're a toddler. It's awful storytelling that bores the player to tears. Showing the player what's happening can be done through dialogue in some cases, but it's how it's done that matters. Is the character just directly and bluntly exposition dumping? For example, how do you say the Legion is a brutal fighting force without just having some NPC tell you that the Legion is a brutal fighting force? Let's take a look at another example. During the quest Return to Sender, the courier will be tasked with reporting to a number of different NCR ranger stations to give them new radio codes. As you approach one of the stations, you will stumble upon this female ranger.
You're here for the money. I told the Emeritus I was good for it. I just need more time. Here's all the caps I've saved up so far. See? That's a pretty good chunk of what I owe right there. Oh, well, yeah. I can do that. Thanks. I talked to the cashier at Gamora into forwarding me some chips. I was convinced I was due for a hot streak. It, didn't go so well. The Emeritus were nice and said they'd give me some time to pay them back. They also said if they had to talk to me about my debt again, they wouldn't be nice the next time. I don't want to talk about it. We were on patrol near the dam when a Legion raiding party jumped us. Didn't even have time to radio it in. I was hit in the head with a machete and knocked out. Didn't kill me, though some nights I wish it had. When I woke up, my nerve was gone. The rest of my squad was crucified, butchered, mutilated. I don't know how they missed me. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they knew they'd broken me. I gambled and drank a lot after that. Got into trouble. But the Rangers gave me a second chance instead of kicking me out. So here I am.
So let's break down everything we learned from this quick conversation. We learned that the Legion brutally assaults their foes with machetes. We learned that this ranger has PTSD from the experience and has been gambling to cope. We also learned that she has a significant debt with the Omerta's crime family, and she's absolutely terrified of them. The writers show us all of these details through the dialogue, and it flows naturally from how jumpy she is when we approach. She's not expecting someone to report to her for an NCR-related task. She's looking over her shoulder from debt collectors, a debt she incurred through a pathological behavior developed as a coping mechanism after being attacked by the Legion. Again, say the Legion is a brutal fighting force without saying the Legion is a brutal fighting force. Show us how brutal the Legion is. Fallout New Vegas is a masterclass in show, don't tell storytelling, and this approach extends to our companions as well.
Hey there! Was it always your plan to sell me into slavery to Caesar, or was that a spur-of-the-moment thing?
New Vegas is the first game in the Fallout series that implemented BioWare-style companions. In previous Fallout games, including Fallout 3 by Bethesda, companions were basically just hired guns with minimal dialogue or backstory to explore. There are 6 humanoid companions plus a robot and a dog in New Vegas. Most companions have their own questline, as well as a variety of likes and dislikes. For instance, Boone will shoot any Legion members on sight, and Arcade will refuse to travel with you if you're too friendly with the Legion. Companion quests are initiated in a kinda scuffed way, if I'm being honest. We need to earn trust points with our companions by having conversations with them at preset locations and quest stages throughout the course of the game. Each companion has their own specific trigger points where these conversations will occur. For instance, you'll have this conversation with Arcade Gannon near the crashed vertibird in the southern portion of the map.
A vertibird. Interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these.
But if you're just playing New Vegas raw and without a guide or prior experience, you can easily miss companion quests, even if you're traveling with a character for a significant portion of the game, because you just happen to miss out on their particular trigger points to build trust. Also, some trigger points are kind of buggy and won't even successfully initiate the conversation. For instance, I always have an absolute bitch of a time getting Veronica's conversation to trigger outside Vault 3. My personal favorite companion quest in the game is the story of Craig Boone. During the NCR's war against the Great Khans, Boone was pushed to do terrible things in the heat of battle, which have haunted him ever since.
Canyon 37. That's what the NCR calls the pass down there. It was the Khan's only escape, so we set up here to guard it while the main force attacked from the front. Standing orders were to shoot on sight. Main force got spotted too soon. We heard shooting. And Khan started coming through Canyon 37 in bunches. It was all wrong, though. Women, kids, elderly, wounded started coming through, too. We radioed to confirm our orders, but command didn't get what we were seeing. They told us to shoot till we were out of ammo, so that's what we did.
At the end of the quest, we have to battle off a gigantic Legion raiding party who attacked the refugee camp at Bitter Springs. When we meet Boone, he was essentially looking to die out there in the wasteland. His trip back to Bitter Springs was like a calling to the end. But after you and him survive the Legion onslaught, he's left wondering where things will go next. Your choices in the ensuing dialogue can either push him to move on and find new meaning in his life, or leave him feeling empty. If you want a full breakdown of Boone's questline and all the dialogue options, I highly recommend this lore video by Oxhorn. But anyhow, let's move on to explore how our build affects our playstyle and choices in New Vegas.
Why don't you walk down to the end of the room, over by that vigor tester machine there?
As we level up, on top of boosting our skills, we will also select perks that provide interesting passives, some of which can even unlock new quest choices. For instance, female characters with the Black Widow perk have the option to lure Benny into the bedroom, which is one of the ways you can kill him stealthily. And couriers with the Cannibal perk can easily gain the trust of Mortimer during the quest Beyond the Beef. Low intelligence builds even have access to unique dumb dialogue options, which is an absolutely hilarious touch by the developers.
This is a restricted area. State your business. I can't tell whether you're joking or radiation melted part of your brain, but either way, I don't see a good reason to let you through.
Our build choices will also open up new options in the form of skill checks. A great example of this is during the King's investigation into a shady bodyguard for hire in Freeside. The King asks us to go undercover to expose why Oris is earning so much business. And if we have a high enough intelligence score, we can discover that he is staging gang attacks against his clients and then fighting them off to earn their loyalty. We can also expose this scheme with a medicine skill of 30 or higher, but if we lack in both departments, we end up losing out on the opportunity to expose Oris's fraud, leading to an alternate outcome for the quest. Lockpicking and science can allow us to gain access to blocked off areas, which usually means big loot. Explosive, energy weapons, guns, melee weapons, and unarmed all impact weapon effectiveness in combat. And there are just so many different ways to build your character, leading to lots of replayability on top of all the story choices. You could spend hundreds of hours in New Vegas and still find new ways to play the game and new options you haven't seen before.
Howdy, partner. Welcome to the Vicky and Vance Casino and Museum.
The final ingredient of what makes Fallout New Vegas so special is that it perfectly encapsulates that unique Fallout vibe, that intangible collection of attributes related to the world, environment, characters, and lore that separate Fallout from other fictional universes. And I think this is best exemplified through the collection of colorful characters we will meet throughout the course of the game. Here's a little taste.
Who sent you? I ain't talking. They tried to get me to talk before, but I didn't say nothing. And I don't aim to now, by gum. We'll just see about that. You come any closer and I'm liable to stick you with my sticking knife. Old Stick is feeling mighty ornery this day. You sure now? It's kind of hard to hear you. Okay, just speak up a little. But not so much that they hear you. They got people everywhere, always listening.
Bald. You call this bald, Smoothskin? I'm a monster. A monster!
You did? Ha, damn! I've been looking for one of those for years. For my customers, I mean, I'm not into that kind of shit. Hey, I'm amazed you even found the thing in the first place. Here is double for your trouble. Those freaky fetishists ought to be satisfied now. It is! It will? My God, imagine the possibilities. It didn't happen to come with an owner's manual, did it? Ah, forget it. Trial and error should do it.
Ah, yes. I've heard that one too. Jealous people say such nasty things. I feel sorry for them. Good. And you know what it is to be discreet in matters of nutrition. Perhaps you can help me.
What in the goddamn? Let's keep this in the groove, hey? Smooth moves like smooth little babies.
The legacy of Fallout New Vegas casts a long shadow on the franchise even to this day. For years, the Fallout community has memed about the possibility of Fallout New Vegas 2. But I've watched more than a few hopium videos on New Vegas 2 by Mr. Matty Plays, and a part of me wants to believe that a New Vegas sequel is on the table.
When my work was done for the day, there was only one news headline that could put my butt back in the work seat to get to it. And that is Fallout New Vegas 2.
But more concretely, we've seen the integration of New Vegas in the Amazon Fallout TV show, which has been renewed for a second season that is currently in production. Quick spoilers incoming, by the way. At the end of Season 1, we see Hank escaping Los Angeles and making his way to New Vegas. But this clip rubbed some of us the wrong way because of the fact that New Vegas seems to be destroyed. The lights of the strip are no longer lit up, and the outer wall is breached, leaving us to wonder what the hell happened here. The TV show takes place after the events of Fallout New Vegas, so will it invalidate our choices from the game? Considering New Vegas had at least 4 different possible endings, not to mention the secret ending from the Dead Money DLC, how will the TV show revisit this city without canonizing who is in charge of New Vegas? A New Vegas video game sequel would struggle with the same dilemma, which makes it an unlikely project, especially considering Todd Howard's reluctance to let other studios touch the Fallout IP.
Fallout New Vegas, super well liked,
yeah,
very beloved over the years. Was there ever any thought to doing another Fallout game with Obsidian?
I wouldn't say there were conversations. We like to keep it internal because we know what we want to do. So it is, if we can keep it internal, we would.
Sorry, Todd. You're just mad because New Vegas is the best Fallout game. So there you have it. We've explored the special impact that Fallout New Vegas has had on the gaming space even 15 years after its release. So what does Fallout New Vegas mean to you? Let me know your favorite New Vegas moments in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Fallout and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.